of ways. Even from reading the statement, hearing and listening and absorbing information about you talking about deconstructing and reconstructing, starting to see a consistent theme throughout your work, throughout the projects about reclaiming all of these different aspects of your experiences that exist outside of those things that you're looking in. Would you say that these elements or these emotions are elicited in your work?
Can you clarify what you mean by I'm outside of it looking in?
So outside looking in, meaning that you don't feel accepted for who you are at face value, for who you think that you're putting yourself out into the organic world, but the organic world isn't exactly accepting that because of their own ignorance, because of their own biases.
This is very much a reclaiming, deconstructing, and reconstructing.
I forgot to tell you that
me
this
talking
piece is
mass media.
dedicated
This is
to
who
you.
I am as we are complex. Piece is in my current installation. Bathing suit shorts that I
Trans and
really
non-binary
trans
people
and non-binary
with
phobic.
periods.
So there's an element of I wasn't accepted or treated like who I really was by my mother, and as well as I want to show that life and people and socialism, etc., is very complex. Speaking about the relationship elements, about my brother died, there was fentanyl in his heroin. My relationship with myself and my own cigarette addiction and how I interpret his death. I wish he had the help and the safe place that do heroin. It's about complexity of socialism, my father, and my family.
Line weight in my digital note work that I'm working on right now. I use BDSM chart indicator of meaning and significance for the installation. For my line work and my typography, I use pink and red interchangeably. Why couldn't they just keep it, oh baby? This is adorable. This is gendered as fuck. It's still kind of gendered, I just noticed. So red is my aura color. So it's a very important color for me on a personal level. But I also don't love, just kind of funny, which is another reason why I use pink, because I like pink and I like using it as a marker in my work.
Halloween Tales was a series that was made regarding following the way the party unfolded throughout the night. And so from the very beginning, there's instances of quietness, of a building up to, and throughout it, you see ranges of emotion from people coming together, and then happiness ensues. And then people are dancing, and then people are drinking. All of this is happening during COVID-19. And the idea behind this was to show that even in this tough time, people do come together.
That my friend brought it.
Like the collage
Concept was inspired by a
style, the inspiration for that.
I take a lot of inspiration from cinema. And so watching movies and then thinking about photography, how a movie is just a series of photos. And I begin to think within that sequence, within moments unfolding right in front of me, is like I'm the video recorder, I'm the camera itself. And using the camera, like a physical camera, is a way to capture that timeless moment, to freeze it right then and there, to capture the light in its essence, the aura.
Touching on the aspect of socialism and in regards to the effects that someone passing away from using drugs, is there the conversation around, is there a safe way to do drugs that aren't inherently good for you? The metal piece around the actual, I guess, the rubber piece. I think what that makes me think of immediately is how he was a person that needed to be supported. Pacifier,
Yes.
definitely support. And so, the metal could signify something that's kind of like hard, or
You're right, it is about support. It's about supporting and loving and not judging, but loving.
and figuring out a way to like make a connection with the person who has this, it's like who has an addiction. I see it now.
I'm glad.
I definitely see
Nice.
that now. Yeah, that was great.
question for you. I want to ask you if the concept of quiet plays a role in your photography and what that means to you.
Quiet plays the role in that when I'm making work, it is solely to distract myself from the thoughts that I have, meaning sometimes I will fixate on a particular issue or a particular thought, may it be negative or positive. Either way, it's like a record on repeat. And so using something like photography allows me the opportunity to slow down and be in that moment when I'm making an image and kind of focus on what's actually happening in front of me and what's unfolding, and documenting that particular time, like reclaiming it for me